Jim, and this is Jim Builds, and that's the Cortina. And recently I've decided to make a new exhaust, mainly because the exhaust that I broke and then repaired and whatever else just wasn't looking too well. It was knocking and definitely not sealing. So I'll give you a view of that now, but before that, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and check out my website. So anyway, let's get on with it. So he's got air. The exhaust is hitting on the handbrake rod. Not good. That bracket looks terrible. Doesn't sit well in the rubber, which is not a good start. If I'm honest, I'm really not happy about what I've done with this exhaust. I had a bit of a gamble on it. I think, quite honestly, I'm tempted to make a new one. It's just not good. See, it's hanging quite low over there, and I've got some original hangers underneath that I could try and utilise. So if I push that up a bit, not in there, like that, it would be okay, but very close to the chassis leg down there and quite close to the floor here. See? It's not good. Right, so this lot is the new exhaust now. As you can see, I'm doing some test fits by using some highly sophisticated duct tape. Seems to be doing alright. But I've got some pre-made 45-degree bends. I've got 4 of those in total. I've got 2 of these, but I'm just taking one inside because I'm drawing up a jig so I can cut multiple angles out of this 180. A few slide-on joints, so they will. He says trying to do this one-handed. And failing. Yeah, so that should slide on like that. Give a nice fit when I come to mount all these together and clamp them. And now I've got my glove stalk in it. Oh, come on. Anyway, and then I've got this silencer, which is straight through. It's a little bigger than the original. So it's a little longer, not as big in diameter, well, width. Obviously diameter is going to be slightly more. So, like I say, a couple of inches longer. But what I'm thinking here is that when I put it underneath, which I will do in a bit, is that I've got a bit more clearance between the fuel tank and the spring. I mean, unfortunately, when I've had a look at it, so I kick everything around. Apologies for light. Is that so? We've got the back of this on the balance. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Right, there we go. So you can see the problem I'm having already is that we're going to have to do an offset because you can't have that straight on because of that spring and chassis leg. But it's not the end of the world. Do a bit of a dog leg on that, which is probably what I'll end up using the other 45s for. So yeah, better get on with it. So that's basically how I'm going to make it. I'm going to jump in, take some measures as I go, cut some bits down, and hopefully it should work out alright. I mean, I think if once I've jigged it, it should be okay. The hardest bit, I think, at the minute is making sure the hangers are the correct height when the exhaust is properly suspended. This bit doesn't need cutting down as I've taped it, so I think they'll get tacked together. But I'm going to MIG weld for the tacks. But before I carry on, I'm going to go back a couple of weeks. I'm going to explain something. That's right, future me. So I've come back in the past to learn how to TIG weld. Something I've wanted to do for a long time now. I've been able to like tack stuff together, but never really go any further than that. I've always been pretty terrible at it.
And if I'm going to start doing some more work with stainless, I need to learn how to do this, even though I've already halfway through the fuel tank, which is coming up soon, and I'm about to start this exhaust. So I have come to the machine shop in Hinckley, not far from Triumph actually, and I'm going to go learn and weld. So with that knowledge and some photos, back to you in the future.
Thank you, past me. So, yeah, MIG weld for tacks. I have access to a TIG welder, but I can't film that because of where it is and the stuff that's around it. So, when I've got this tack welded, I'll show you then when it's MIG welded, but obviously I won't do the MIG welding in front of you. So you're just gonna have to believe me. But I'm an honest guy, right? I've roughly got the exhaust where I want it. Next up is making noise and hangers. So these are the rubber mounts that I've got, basic standard rubber mounts. And when I was doing the car originally, I did weld some hangers on. But the new hangers I have, where are they? I've got nothing to hand. 2 seconds. There we go. So I bought these a while ago for the exhaust because I was tweaking the position and whatever else when I did put a flexible joint in, but we're not doing that because we're going to go with soft mounts rather than the polyurethane ones that I had. Anyway, I digress. So this was the mount that I bought, and as you can see, this is moving on here up, and because the diameter isn't right. What you really want is a nice fit, because he says now he can't take it off. There we go. Right, so with these, they'll push on, and you can see fit is good. No movement other than the rubber itself. Problem is, that's a straight bar, which means we've got to bend it. So what I want to do is put a 90 on this so I can weld it onto the exhaust at the right height. So what I don't want, like these, where it's an adjustable one where it can move and loosen and whatever else over time, just want to weld it on mount. I want this to come off and go back on the way it should every time. Not that I take it off often, but it should. You don't want it to keep adjusting it, because that's where I've ended up with the last one. So I'm going to set the vise up in a second, find something that slips over this so I can actually bend it nicely, but I think what I'll end up doing is getting this cherry red and putting a bend on it. When that's done, we can cut this down, get it in position and tweak it. What I will do as well is, stop messing with that, like this one, I'm going to weld a couple of bits so again the mount goes in the right place every time. Easy as that. It's not my finest welding, but I put a washer on this side, so it'll has a physical stop, and then to prevent it falling off, I've just run a few tacks on there and filed them back. Like I say, it's not the prettiest job, but it's functional. So let's get this tacked in place. All fully welded, linished back. Not gone too badly to say. It's MIG welded with proper stainless wire, and it's gone on better than I thought actually. The intention was to TIG weld it, probably mentioned that, but basically I couldn't get access to the TIG welder that I thought I could get access to, but I am looking at buying one in the near future, so hopefully some TIG projects come in. Maybe I'd like to do some more. Got some plans for a manifold, but that's a different story for another day. Now this is all welded, as I digress and start smashing it up, I think it's time we get it fitted, because then I can actually test it, and I don't know what this sounds like yet, so I'm actually quite excited. It's going to be good. So that's it tacked up. Everything's looking pretty good. Left a healthy amount of space on the over axle. I'll straighten that out because it got a bit bent recently. But yeah, really happy with how it's fitting now. You can just about make out. We have got plenty of room there, so give that a wobble. Plenty of movement. Nothing's banging, which is just what you want. Alright, all off and welded now. All what's left to do now is fire it up. I'm excited. Sound to it. I'm really happy with what I've managed to achieve here. Yeah, I could live with this. Can easily have a conversation at 40, which is saying a lot for this car given what we've gone through with it. I don't know, I think the sun is shining, weather is sweet, exhaust sounds good, and I'm cool with that. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm well chuffed. This is cool. God, I love driving this car. But I hope you enjoyed what I've done and hopefully learned something. Maybe not how to do it the way I've done it. Wouldn't always recommend it. Yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe and don't forget to check out the website. Maybe buy a sticker or something, that'd be really cool. I'll see you soon. I'm off to enjoy this drive.